Hello, 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 hello to the Miss Village. This is Dr. Kong. I know that you used to just calling me Al or Aleron or the guy that won't ever stop touching his head. But as you can see, I am wearing a button-down shirt. I am wearing sleeves today. It's not just because I think it'd be professional, but I know nobody can focus when the gun show's going on, so I get it. Anyway, so obviously coronavirus is one of the main things that people are talking about, and I thought I'd give you guys some helpful things to know just so that you could maybe put your mind at ease, maybe cut through some of the misinformation that's out there, and you could spread it to your friends and family, and ideally it would help, okay? So there's a couple things that we're going to talk about. I'm going to number them down, and if you missed anything, don't worry. I'm going to type it all up and attach it to this when it's done, okay? So number one thing I'm going to talk about is mass hysteria, okay? That's what's going on in the news. That is what is going on all around the world right now. The coronavirus is something that we should pay attention to. It is something that deserves our consideration and definitely deserves for us to do preventative measures to prevent its spread. But our reaction to it could end up being just as deadly, just as dangerous as the actual virus itself, okay? I know that everything is scary. I know that we keep seeing more numbers like that, but just remember that every story that you guys have ever read, you see that the fear and the panic causes a potentially a situation that we should take seriously, turned into a grave and dire concern, okay? So, breathe, woosah. I'm gonna give you guys some information, and hopefully that will make you better prepared, all right? So, number one, wash your hands, okay? So, I mean, wash your hands, wash your hands, wash your hands. This sounds silly, but the biggest difference between medicine today and medicine way back is in our prevention of diseases. We have learned how to cure and treat many, many things, but it's our ability to stave off it even being a problem that matters, okay? So this may look silly, but I'm gonna show you guys how to appropriately wash your hands in a way that they teach us in medical school, okay? So, you have to wash every surface. This may seem crazy, but I've been going to the bathroom, in the men's bathroom for a long time. Most guys don't even wash their hands, so here you go. You wash like this, and then you wash the backs, okay? And then you do this to wash the tips of your fingers, okay? Then you wash like this, and you're done, okay? That's how it works, all right? So again, that may seem silly, but please just wash your hands. That will do so much because you will kill the coronavirus by washing your hands. You want to do it for at least 20 seconds. It's not that long. Okay. 2, let's talk about how the coronavirus spreads, because I was just, I've gone to the hospital. I've seen many people wearing masks. First of all, if you're wearing a mask like this, it does not help because things can go in your nose. But second of all, you most likely do not need to be wearing masks. The coronavirus is not airborne, okay? It is not airborne. It is passed through transmission of touching things and through respiratory droplets. So if you cough or if you sneeze, right, then the same way if you squirt a bottle, the droplets hang in the air for like 1 second before they fall, that's the same way it could be transmitted, okay? So wearing a mask is not necessary, and our hoarding is making an issue because who does need masks are people that are actually sick so that they don't get us sick when they sneeze, right? And healthcare workers who are being sneezed on regularly. But other than that, it is not in the air around us, okay? It is passed through touching things, and it is passed through if you're next to someone in that 1 second after they cough or sneeze, okay? So along with that, if you sneeze, okay, do it into a tissue if you can, or do it into your elbow, okay? Sneeze or cough into your shirt, okay? Do not do it on your hands, because as I said, the most important thing I want you to know is that if you clean your hands, right, which is what we touch things with, these things at the end of our arms, right, then we will not transmit it to other people, okay? If you clean your hands, you will not transmit it to yourself the many times we touch our face, which will not stop because that is how we are genetically bred to be. We touch our face all the time, okay? So, again, the most important thing is clean your hands, okay? If you sneeze or cough, do it into your elbow, do it into a napkin, do it into your shirt. Do not do it into your hands. Okay. Now, next thing, this might be hard to hear. Going to the hospital. I'm not going to tell you not to go to the hospital, but I am going to say, please use your best judgment, okay? Now I'm going to give you some information that will help you use that best judgment, okay? There is no cure for the coronavirus. If you go to the hospital, they're not hoarding anything there, okay? It is a virus. Antibiotics do not work on it. Antibiotics work on bacteria, not viruses. The coronavirus is a virus, okay? 2, even if you go to the hospital because you want to get checked, okay? A lot of healthcare facilities do not have tests. And even if they have tests there, there is no guarantee that you will be tested when you go. Every different healthcare facility, and I've talked to people all around the country that are, fellow healthcare workers like myself, okay? They have different criteria. Some people say only test people that have been in contact with someone. Other people say only test people that are exhibiting certain symptoms. And then others are saying only test people that have been in contact and are observing certain symptoms and look really, really sick, okay? We don't have enough tests, so every healthcare facility is trying to come up with the best way to figure out how to do it, okay? So even if you go and even if you wait 8 hours, okay, you are not guaranteed to be tested. Now, if you are tested, okay, there is no test in medicine, right, that is 100% sure. That means that there are going to be some people that are told they have the virus when they do not. That is a false positive. There are going to be other people that are told that they don't have the virus when they did have the virus. That is a false negative, okay? And by the numbers of what I'm seeing, you've got like roughly a 25% chance of either having a false positive or a false negative, depending on what your results come back as. But even if you did get that result, again, there is no cure for the coronavirus. All we can do is treat the symptoms, right? So if you're having a hard time breathing, we have medicines and things that we can do that can help you breathe. Now, there's a difference between being stopped up and being like, oh, I feel horrible, and you literally can't breathe very well, okay? And I think that anyone that has been sick or has been around somebody who's been really sick knows what I'm talking about. So again, I want to circle back to the original point of I'm not telling you not to go to the hospital, but I am telling you that I want you to use your best judgment and understand that if you go to the hospital, right, you will wait for a certain amount of time. They may not be able to test you. Even if they do test you, the results can be ambiguous about a quarter of the time, and there is no cure. All they will do is give you medications if you need it to survive because you are that sick, okay? So, please use your best judgment with this information that I've given. All right, 3, I want to talk about how the biggest thing that we can do, right, is the same thing that you have seen in all of the stories that you have read. Whenever there's a pandemic, whenever there is a health scare, whenever there's something sweeping through, right, the less we interact with each other, the better, right? And I want to talk about it because I know that there is a consideration of like, well, I'll probably be fine. Oh, people are making too big of a deal about it. And again, I will agree that mass hysteria has taken over the planet and we are just sort of like going crazy with it, okay? But I want to talk about how this is spreading around the world, okay? And even if you get it, right? If you're a younger person like myself, like many of you, right? And I'm saying younger medically, not younger in like who you would date, okay? If you're a younger person, you may get it and never notice. Or you may get it and get a little cold or have a runny nose and you're completely fine. And it won't necessarily impact your life at all. But the more of us that get it, the more of us that are spreading it, right? The longer we're extending the life cycle of this virus, right? Because, and again, this is an arbitrary number because we don't know yet. But let's say that it lasts 10 days in me, and on the 9th day, I give it to somebody else. and they're fine, but on the ninth day, they decide to go to a party, and they give it to somebody else, right? As opposed to what would have been 10 days, we've now extended to a month, right? That's just a simple number example to understand what we're talking about. So if we can avoid gathering in large groups, if we can avoid contact with one another for just a short period of time, most likely a week to 2 weeks, right? Then we can seriously curtail the spread of this virus, which again, may not impact you. But if you are in a high risk group, which would be, so anyone over the age of 80 is extremely high risk as far as having a bad outcome, including death. Anyone over the age of 65 is in a moderate to high risk. Anyone that has another health concern, like cancer, or their immune system is compromised in some way, or they have heart failure, or even uncontrolled diabetes will negatively impact your immune system. What was asymptomatic for you, or what was a cold to you, could have serious consequences for them. And I know I'm an American just like you. I like it when I want it. I don't want anyone to tell me no. But if we think about all of us as a whole, and we can just limit our interactions, then we will greatly limit the spread of this disease, okay? And that will help all of us in the long run, okay? All right. The next thing that I want to talk about is just things that you can do very simply, and I'm going to reiterate the most important one is wash your hands, do it correctly, every surface. Clean your house. You don't have to do it every day, but if someone comes over or that hasn't been in there, just clean it. Hot water, soap, you'll be doing good. You can look at the CDC website. You want to use bleach or any of that kind of stuff, okay? Sneezing, again, sneezing or coughing, please do it into your elbow, do it into your shirt, do it into a napkin. Do not do it into your hands, and do not just do it out into the world, okay? Face masks, please don't hoard them. They do not help you. It is not airborne. It is spread by a touch, and it is spread by respiratory droplets. The same if you squeeze a squeeze bottle, they hang in the air for a second or two before they fall down, okay? And I think that's mostly it. There's a lot of crazy information going on out there. This is not the end of times. This is not the Black Death. This is not, some crazy apocalyptic thing that people are making it out to be. This is a virus that is spreading around the world, okay? And we can severely limit the negative impact it has by following very simple instructions, by just being clean and being calm, okay? So, with all that being said, I appreciate you listening. Please tell your friends and family, okay? These very, very simple tips. Please help our healthcare workers to stay safe and stay ahead of it, okay? Because I made a very simple graph, right? So what we have is the number of cases of corona in time, okay? And this dotted line right here is the capabilities of our healthcare system, okay? So you see here, if we do not observe patience and calm, and we flood the healthcare system, right, then the cases will spike, because we can take care of and help people as long as we are below the line of using up our resources. But if we use up our resources and we panic more and we spread more and we congregate more, and people that have a really simple cold go to the hospital and then get infected with the coronavirus while they're at the hospital, and it becomes a self-perpetuating cycle, right? Then suddenly a situation that we should take seriously again becomes grave. All right? So please be clean. Please be calm. Know that we are going to be fine. And I will try to answer any questions that may come up. Okay? I appreciate all of you. I hope that you stay safe and stay healthy. Bless. All right. So from Atlanta, with sleeves on, this is Aleron. Bye-bye. No one's rolling.